Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife video for you. Today, we have all of my modded knives. Well, at least most of them. There's a few little cheapies I use to, practice writ dyeing and stuff like that aren't on here. But I will say off the jump, these are mostly bolt-on modifications. Obviously not the aforementioned dyed ones. You guys are going to ask me, why don't you make a video on how to writ dye? Well, because I just do what Love Them Knives video does. He has a really good tutorial on it. I just copy what he does. And he has a nicer kitchen than mine, and it's a really good video, so go watch his. He's a good dude, too. Don't mind passing that on. But yeah, other than that, these are mostly all kind of just what we call, in the car world, bolt-on mods. And part of the main reason why I do that is because as a reviewer, I want to be able to return a knife to stock if I can. If I have to use it for a comparison video or something like that. Like this Smock definitely is going to get turned back to stock next week for a comparison video I have scheduled. So that I like to be able to do that. That's a nice thing to be able to do. And also, I'm a bit lazy. I have more time on my hands now than I did before. I am going to start doing some stone washing. Maybe an acid wash. I don't know. I'm going to ask you guys your opinion on what you think I should do on a blade on one particular of these. I'm not quite sure. I'm kind of up in the air. Blade HQ has some good tutorials on both, so I want to go watch those again and figure out what I'm going to do. But other than that, this is all things anybody can do if you're comfortable with taking a knife apart. This is all stuff you can buy either aftermarket or from the factory, because some companies do offer lots of you can just buy new scales from them and stuff like that. So I do want to say, stay tuned to the end, because I'm going to be giving one of these away. Not in this video, so don't ask me what the giveaway instructions are. But for my 15,000 sub giveaway, which is coming up very, very quickly, by the end of the month, I'm going to be giving one of these away. So, and it's probably not the one that you think. So stay tuned to the end for that. Or if you're one of those people, just skip ahead now to see what it is. Bye. All right, they're all gone. All right, let's get going with the video. So I've not really super been into modding knives because, like I said, that thing about, wanting to be able to turn them to stock. But I had a couple that got me more comfortable with it, in the last year or so. And then I think what really kind of flipped the switch for me was this knife, and that's why I have it up first here. Notice how I laid them all out for you so you can see them right off the bat and not making you wait to see each one. Aren't I a nice guy? But no, this is a Spider Eco Smock with some sharp dress knife scales on it and an aftermarket deep carry clip. Now, I had the Smock just on the review on it, and coincidentally, maybe it was like even the next day, somebody messaged me on Instagram and said, hey, have you ever heard of sharp dress knife scales? I really think you should check them out. They're really, really cool. And I said, yeah, I've heard of them. I've seen the pictures. Looks like really good work. And he said, well, I'm going to put you in touch with them. I'm good friends with the guy. See if he'll send you some. So he did that. And within an hour, Sharp Dress Knives was messaging me, asking what I wanted. I looked on his site. He had these in stock. I like Micarta. I like the color of these. It's like a black and brown mix. And they looked really, really nice. And they're only 69 bucks. That is really, really cheap for custom-made scales. And I said, yes, send them on. And I got them, and the fit and finish is fantastic. You'll be able to tell as this goes on. Kind of a fan of Sharp Dress Knives. They do really, really good work. They're not the only one, but they're very inexpensive and very, very fast as well. One of these was, he had to custom make the scales. He already had the pattern. I had it within a week. Another one, he actually went and bought the knife to make the pattern. I think it took less than 3 weeks. That's really, really quick. I can't complain about that at all. And again, the prices are awesome. And the deep carry clip. I had this one laying around from MXG Gear, but it looks nice. And Smock needs a deep carry clip, in my opinion. This is one of the Spydercos that just has horrible clip placement. I didn't put every knife on here that I just put a deep carry clip on, because it's not really a huge mod. Everything here has at least, scale swaps or some dye or something. This one does have a slight mechanical mod. I did remove the second detemp ball. If you have a Smock and you're comfortable taking it apart, I highly suggest you do. It kind of just falls out. Make sure it's a little tiny ball bearing. Make sure you have it on a surface that is not going to bounce. And then you just got to pull the spring out and put that away in a safe place so you can return it to stock if you want to. But what that allows you to do is now I can just push the detemp ball and open it like a normal button lock. It doesn't change anything else with the knife. That's all that second detent there is to do. I guess that they said it's supposed to make the detent a bit stiffer. I can't tell the difference with it out. on mine anyway, and you can still do all the other stuff you normally do. Spidey flick it, thumb flick it. You can front flip it, normal flipper tab it. You know, it's a really, really, really fun knife, and that just makes it that little bit more fun. And this has become a knife I carry a whole lot now because it looks great. I don't hate the stock scales as much as most people do, but it looks even better with these. So really, really do like this one a whole lot. This one I think is probably done because I do just carry it and use it, and it looks plenty good enough for that. This one's probably done. Some of these aren't done. I think it's like, to borrow another car term, a project car is never done. This one, also probably done. This is the Benchmade Mini Bugout. This was the white Stormtrooper edition, white with the black. I did like the way it looked eventually. I didn't at first. The look of it kind of was growing on me. And then I was like, yeah, no, maybe I won't change it. Maybe it'll be all right. Maybe I'll just leave it. But I knew I had some videos coming up with it. I got done with those videos, and then I got the itch to change the color on it. Because it's white. It's a blank canvas for dyeing. You know, I knew I could change it any color I wanted to. I was going to do purple. A couple people beat me to the punch on that on Instagram, so I said, you know what, I'm making a Sith Trooper instead of a Stormtrooper. So I dyed it red. Still keeping with the Star Wars theme. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, and it came out great. It's a very, very vibrant red. I really love the way that it looked. The white scales, like I said, I almost kept them, but they kept getting dirty. I was constantly cleaning it and didn't want to deal with that for the rest of my life or however long I have this thing. So I went with the red, and I think it came out really, really cool. And again, watch Love Them Knives Rit Dye video. It's excellent. Kept the stock clip on it. I do like the Mini Bugout a lot, and it just looks way better in this color. Next up, we have, this is a ZT0393 GLCF. It had the glow-in-the-dark carbon scales on it, which looked fine, except for I think the glow-in-the-dark's kind of silly. It doesn't ever do it when you really expect to see it. You kind of have to charge it up and with a flashlight or something, or put it in this bright sun, and then it only lasts about 10 minutes in the dark. So if you ever pull it out of your pocket, it just looks like normal carbon. And I don't know, it's just kind of gimmicky. And again, Sharp Dressed Knives make scales for it. So I said, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that, get these marble carbon scales for it. They look fantastic. And again, he didn't have these made. He had all the pattern done, he had the material, but still, I got them in a week, which is awesome. Had some leftover Hinderer parts, so this is an actual Hinderer filler tab and an actual Hinderer clip, which looks infinitely better than what it comes with. I did put my own edge on it. I say aftermarket. Am I the aftermarket now? I don't know. But yeah, I just have a Viper Sharp, nothing too crazy fancy, but yeah, put a pretty good little mirror on there. I tried to mimic the factory angle and everything, but I just wanted it to look pretty because these scales look so good. ZT has good edges, but they don't look great. So I want to do that, and you know, I'm getting good enough now that 20 CV doesn't scare me at all. So yeah, it came out really, really good. Nothing wrong with the factory edge. This just looks prettier. And I think it overall came out amazing. This one is definitely done. I can't think of anything else I'd want to do to this. I just think it came out great. I think it looks really cool. The stock Hinderer parts match the stonewash on the titanium perfectly. It looks factory. It just looks better than what they put out. And also these scales too make a big difference in the way it looks, even bigger difference in the ergonomics. It makes this knife so much more comfortable. The original scales kind of cut out and go down here and expose more of the frame. I really, really love the way that this feels in my hand now. It is very, very comfortable. And it went from a good knife to a really great knife. And I like the stonewash on the blade they use in the GLCF. It's really heavy stonewash. It looks cool. I think this came out way better than it was. Now, next up is my Hinderer Jurassic. Again, Sharp Dressed Knife scale. So, yeah, this one was, he does a lot of Hinderer scales, but he hadn't done a Jurassic yet. And I'm thinking that the Jurassic's gonna be pretty popular. So I just said, hey, man, could you make me some Jurassic scales? Well, there's a Jurassic scale. And he said, well, I don't have one. And I was about to say, I'll send you mine. And it was on Instagram. I put my phone down for an hour. And by the time I went back to go say, I'll send you mine, he said, I ordered one. He's a Hinderer fan anyway. I'm sure it didn't break his heart to order one. But he said I ordered one. I have to, template it and all that stuff. It'll be a bit. 3 weeks later, I had not just this scale. This is Micarta. And I did do a little trick with this one. I did not with the Smock Micarta because I liked the way it looked before. But this one came a little bit light. Not bad, but a little bit lighter. And that's supposed to be kind of ideal because normally with a normal human being, your hands sweat, you put oils and stuff all over it, and micarta changes over time. Well, I have freaky lizard hands that produce no moisture whatsoever. Micarta never changes for me. Copper doesn't age, like doesn't patina, brass doesn't, nothing does. Everything stays the same just because of my hands. You might get some age on it from the air around it, but you know, that's it. I just have I barely leave fingerprints. So that wasn't gonna work for me. So I just took some mineral oil and rubbed on it just to darken it up a little bit. I just basically accelerated the aging process on it, and it came out great. I really do like it. It still keeps lightening up a little bit over time. Like it was really dark when I first put it on there, like a week or so ago, and now it's gotten a little bit lighter, but it's kind of stabilized at this color, and I like it. It looks really good. And I did use some other, these are stock Hinderer parts I had from another knife. These are just the copper, or mid-copper, the bronze filler tab and bronze pocket clip. It had silver on it before. And this one's done too. It's gone through some iterations though. This is what it looks like now. It originally had the silver parts, as I said, and then also I have over here, the original scale was green, and I dyed it to this really dark gray / black. This is the first scale I ever dyed. A normal human being starts out on a cheap $25 knife to practice their dyeing skills. Nope, I started out with a $400+ Hinderer and took a chance at ruining its scale. And this is the Jurassic. There aren't that many aftermarket scales available for it. I think Sharp Dress Knives is probably the only place you're going to find them right now. I don't think anybody's really making them. Hinderer isn't. You can't really find the stock, you know, aftermarket replacement scales from Hinderer yet. I'm hoping that's going to happen when everything's over and they're back up and running full speed. But so this was OD green. I dyed it this color, and when Sharp Dress Knives sent me the scales, I couldn't decide between carbon or this micarta. So he also sent me a marbled carbon, which is beautiful. Gives you an idea of what they look like, you know, before you put them on. Gorgeous scale. It looks great with it on there, but I really like the look of this micarta and the feel of it, because this is a knife I'm really going to use. This is kind of my user Hinderer, because it's my favorite one to have in my hand ergonomically and stuff. And so I'm going to use the snot out of this. So I kind of like the micarta for that. It's like the way it feels. It's a little grippier, and again, the bronze parts match it really well. So yeah, this is beautiful, but I don't know if I'm going to use it, or I'm sure I will at some point. I can dress it up if I want to. And then also he sent me, just for giggles, because he knows I love purple G10, and this has got a really cool texture on it. It's like a polished G10 sort of, but it's intentionally left, you know, some of the, you can see, it feels completely smooth, but you can still see some of the underlying, you know, stuff on it. I like the way it looks. It's like kind of a weathered purple scale. This is really cool too. This might find its way on there at some point, but it's pretty slick, but I really like it. That was just a little freebie from him, which I very much appreciate. That's really cool. So lots of scale choices for that one. Next up, this is the first knife I've gotten with these scales and from this company, and it will not be the last. These are RC Blade Works. This is a Benchmade Bugout. This is the black burlap micarta. And oh, they look so good. You guys been bugging me to swap scales on a Bugout forever and ever and ever. Just kind of shopping around for who to get. Somebody sent me a XM18 to swap parts for him with, and he had an RC Blade Works micarta scale, and I loved it. It was just so nicely done. So I reached out to them and got these, and I didn't even know exactly what color they were going to be. I actually just swapped these scales over this morning. I didn't even know what color they were going to be. I said I wanted black because this is the original Bugout. I didn't want to change the blue parts because I just didn't want to bother with, they're a little harder to find. You got to go on eBay and stuff like that, and I just didn't want to deal with that. So I wanted something that's going to look good with the blue, so I said black, preferably micarta. He sent me like 3 or 4 options, and I said, you know what, just surprise me. I want to be surprised. So he did that, and I was surprised, and these are really, really cool. He just started using this material, but I mean, no rough edges anywhere, which on micarta, that can happen sometimes. And not rough, but kind of fuzzy or whatever you want to call it. Not on these. These are fantastic. They went on super easy. They have a little bit of contour to them as well. Great ergonomically. Went on as easy as anything goes on a Benchmade. Taking Benchmades apart is kind of a nightmare. So, but they go on as well as anything does. And I did change the pocket clip. I do really like the Bugout's clip, but I did switch to the normal, not deep carry clip, because with these scales, they're just so nicely rounded, I think it is, or they're maybe a little thicker at the high spot. I could feel kind of a hot spot from that pocket clip, just a little bit. And so I switched back to the normal kind of split arrow clip. We're not going to use that other phrase for it, but it makes the knife more comfortable. It does make it a smidge heavier. I haven't weighed it to see, but it's not much. But I really love the way these came out. I just think it looks really great. I did put the pivot in backwards before anybody says. I do know that. It works fine. Action is still great. I think it looks a little better. I've done that on Benchmades before. Not all of them can do that, but some of them you can just swap it around so that, you know, the show side doesn't have a bowl hole on it. I like that. So that's the tiniest little thing, but yeah, I put it back together backwards on purpose to see if it'd be all right, and it is. So put that one down. This one is not done, by the way, before I put it down. This is the one I wanted. Should I stone wash the blade or acid wash it? I can't really decide. I just don't want it to be quite as shiny as it is now. So I'm thinking about stone washing it because that looks a little easier, other than getting the blade back in because it's a Benchmade, but I'm thinking about doing that. I almost did it today, but I recorded something else with my wife instead, which you guys have probably seen by now and hopefully enjoyed something silly. So I did that instead of doing the stone wash on this, but we shall see. I'm going to do a full video about this once I'm done with it. And I still may do something with the thumb stud and the standoffs. I'm not really sure. Next one. This one was a gift from a friend that came. There's a Hinderer M18 Slicer, 3.5 inch. You guys have seen this knife many times with different clothes on it. You've only seen it a couple times like this. This is how I actually carry it. It has the Warhog scale. I used to be in the 23rd Fighter Wing at Pope Air Force Base. We were the Flying Tigers, and you know they have a whole lot of history. Only Air Force Squadron allowed to use nose art, and we really loved the way that looked. We were very proud of it. And the guy sent me this. It was with the stock black G10 scale. It has a liner in it. He also included this titanium scale. So I swapped this over onto it. So again, the next three are kind of factory mods. These are stuff that you can just get. You can just buy straight from the factory, and you know they're going to fit, and it makes everything much less painful. But it does look fantastic. I do really like it. But speaking of painful, yeah, I tried to anno because the regular bronze. I had these on this before, and it just doesn't quite match the regular Hinderer bronze. I needed the battle bronze, but I said, you know what, I think I can do that. I watched a video about heat anno. Filler tab came out okay. It came out pretty close. It's got a little slight blue hint to it, but the pocket clip looks fine, but it just still doesn't match, and the two don't match. I can never get them to match, heat annoing it, and again, I just started doing it, and I just do the electric stove method, and I think I'm going to try and strip all the stuff off of these, and then I'm going to try some flame anno or something. But in the meantime, I've already ordered some battle bronze, actual proper Hinderer parts that are going to match it. Some very nice person sent me a gift card to Blade HQ for my birthday, which happened to be almost exactly what these two little pieces were going to be, which are more than you'd think. Do have a fair bit of money into this thing. I mean, I got it as a gift, but if I'd had to buy it, it is not inexpensive. With all these parts, you're looking at like $650. So, yeah. But I'm not going to do the bronze on the back spacers or any of the other bronze bolts, because you can see the way this is milled, it's still got a lot of silver in it. And I think those really stand out as looking like bolts on an airplane. So I don't want to change those. But I do want a little bit of the bronze color to match, you know, on the other side. And I know this is kind of an OD greeny, but it very much matches the battle bronze. So I'm going to get those two parts, and then I think this one will be done, because I don't really plan on doing any other changes. Next up, these next two are actually very little modified. So this is another Hinderer M18. This is the DLT trading exclusive M390 with the spear point fuller. Working finish. Love the way it looks. It is amazing. It's another one of the Hinderers that I do actually just use. This is a Hinderer scale, and they did sell it on knives you could buy. Not on this one, though, that I could find. Maybe they did and I just missed it, but they haven't made this scale for a little bit. And it's just a blue-black pattern. It came with a black scale. I had this one laying around. It looked good on it. I actually did dye another scale for it, and I let you guys vote what I should use. This was jade. I dyed it purple. It looks purple like this because it's kind of translucent, but when you put it on this working finish liner, which is a bit darker, it looks like Spyderco Blurple. You can kind of see once the light's not shining through it, it looks quite blurple. I liked the way it looked, but I let you guys vote. You guys like this one better, and I don't really disagree with you now. After carrying it for a while, I do kind of like the way this one looks, so this is the one I went with. But again, this is definitely a very, very minor factory mod. It's a part that, you know, you could theoretically buy from Hinderer. Hinderer parts are kind of, they're here, then they're gone, then they're here, then they're gone, then they're here, then they're gone. But I imagine they'll make some more in this pattern because it was pretty popular. Now, next up, this is, if you want to get a knife that you can modify to your tiny little heart's content, you can't do much better than a TRM. This is an Atom. The Neutron is just as easily modifiable. The Nerd will be having more scales coming out soon. This knife I have a lot of scales for. So it came with, up here, it came with this carbon fiber scale, which is very nice. I liked it, used it for a while, really enjoyed that. Then on their Instagram, they showed this scale, which is like a red and black carbon. I thought, ooh, that looks evil. I want that. I got that. And then they came out with these Techwood ones, and I got those, and these are the ones that have kind of stuck. These are kind of fluted. But like I said, the easiest to modify, this is just 2 screws on this side. You don't have to take the knife apart. The pivot does come off. Just 2 little T6s, they come off. And then 3 T6s on the other side. Take the pocket clip and the scale off. It takes literally 20 seconds, and you have a whole new knife, especially when you change like the texture. Like this has the fluted scales on it now. So it doesn't only look better, it feels better. And this Techwood is just really cool. It's basically what, I know Diamond Wood, I think, kind of went out of business, and Techwood's kind of taken over that market. And this is really gorgeous stuff. It's basically just like ground up wood pulp in a resin. And they can dye it endless colors. As you can see, this is so multi-layer. It just looks fantastic. It looks kind of Native American. I don't know. I just love it. It's just it's very comfortable in the hand with those flutes. It does give it a bit more grip. So I have lots of different clothes for this. I call this my Barbie knife because it's super easy to change. It's like, you know, changing clothes in your Barbie doll, allegedly. I've heard, I've been told. But I can change it to look however I want. If I want it to look very gentlemanly and fancy, I put the carbon one on. If I wanted to look a little meaner, I put the red and black on. So it's just kind of cool, and it's super easy and quick to do. And I do it entirely too often, but lately it's been settled on these. So thank you guys for watching this, and I teased you, and it's going to be worth the wait. This is not a giveaway video, but at my 15,000 sub giveaway, I've been planning on doing this all the time. I owe you guys a little bit of apology. I didn't include this knife in a collection update video. Oh, you know what? I have not recorded. You guys have not seen it yet. It is in an upcoming collection update video, but I'm not keeping it. Maybe I'll redo that video and edit that one out. I probably should do that because I'll get in the comments, but you already gave this away. I always intended to give this knife away. I've shown it to you guys a lot, but I got the knife itself in payment for some work that I did for somebody, and it came brand new in the box, and so I really have no money in it there. I had some of the parts laying around, and Sharp Dress Knives was nice enough to donate the scales for this. So yes, I'm giving away this ZT0393 is going to be part of the grand prize package of my 15,000 sub giveaway. If you paid retail for the knife and all these parts, you're looking at a little north of 400 bucks. But it is a beautiful knife. I think I did a really good job on the edge. I think anyone will be very, very, very happy with it. So this is going to be the grand prize in my 15,000 sub giveaway. So this is not a giveaway video. I'm not going to give instructions. Don't ask me down below. You'll see that when that video comes out, probably in a couple weeks. So keep an eye out for that. So yeah, this is a giveaway knife. Always kind of was intended to be, because I don't really have any money in it, and it's just a great thing to pass on to you guys, I think. I really do. And thank you very, very much to my buddy Emilio for way overpaying me for some work by giving me this knife, and to Sharp Dress Knives for sponsoring it. And I guess to me for hoarding Hinderer parts. It's about as much as I've got into it, other than like a couple hours worth of work and some extra Hinderer parts they laying around. So yes, this is going to be the 15,000 sub giveaway knife. So keep an eye out on how to enter that. in a couple weeks' time. So hope you guys have enjoyed this, and it was worth sticking around till the end. You got to see some pretty knives while you waited. So, but this has been going on quite a while. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. And go out and, you know, make your knives your own, as Hinderer would say. Have a good one.